What's up, everybody? It's David Palmer, Leo King, and this is my show, Uncut Astrology, where I take the astrology and I take off the mask. I give it to you raw and real for the weekly astrology forecast of October 7th and 8th till the 13th, 14th. So I like to do Wednesday to Wednesday, middle to middle. Kind of an odd way to do it. But you know what? Woo! We are finally here. Let's just all say that together. We are finally here. Now, what does that mean? We're coming out of a Mercury retrograde. That is a huge, huge thing, especially this one. If you were watching the news this week, a pilot fell asleep, somebody on Waze got sent to the wrong address and got shot and killed. I mean, there's been like really weird stories. And I'm so happy that this Mercury retrograde ends officially Friday into Saturday on the 9th and 10th when we're really pushing forward. The main events, though, this week, besides Mercury retrograde or going direct and getting out of retrograde, is Venus is coming out of its shadow period. Now, Venus, since June, the middle of June, started to enter its shadow period, which means the area in which Venus will go retrograde and cover a certain zone of the certain zone in the zodiac. Now, this is so important because now Venus is going to be moving into new territory. And this week, Venus on the 8th, on Thursday, hits Virgo, so it comes out of Leo, comes back to the place where it retrograded, and it will move forward at the same time out of the shadow period that Mercury is going direct. Now, this is also while Mercury is on the North Node, and I'm looking at this as a huge turning point in all of our lives. I especially feel that the Saturn in Sagittarius energy that came in a couple weeks ago finally is moving forward. I'm sure you've been feeling this bit by bit, piece by piece change in your world, a new chapter that is finally coming forward. And this is all the things moving forward. This is like all the juice coming together. This is all while we have been battling the Sun square Pluto, which is a big, deep, inner let go, fears to face and let go and drop, and to move forward into the new, the transformational aspect of our lives. This is extreme. This is the sun, which for the whole week, until it reaches the new moon, which we're going to talk about, on the 12th, is the sun is squaring Pluto and opposing Uranus, the Pluto-Uranus square that we've been dealing with for 3 years. About revolution and change and breaking free of your old patterns and having to find new directions and new courage. And this is us finding the new way, the new road in our life. This is all while when Venus comes out of shadow, and it's on the star Regulus, which you could just do a whole video on the star Regulus. You could watch my video, Light Reborn, which is on my YouTube channel if you want to go deeper into what Venus on Regulus is all about. I'm not going to talk about it in this video. But Venus is stationary, retrograde, when it happened on the star Regulus, the star of the royalty, the star of accomplishing your greatest feats, the brightest star on the ecliptic. And this is a moment for us in life when the moon will come into Virgo this week, be on top of Venus coming out of its shadow period. It will be also while Mars and Jupiter are starting to conjunct. Mars is also opposing Neptune this week, where we are having to take action yet learn to chill, learn to be guided. This is magic in the air brewing. This is huge relationship developments in our life with Venus coming out of its shadow, with Venus on Regulus. Venus is also squaring Saturn, which is big decisions in relationships, big decisions on projects, big self-worth tests this week. I mean, this is just like so much. There's so much astrology that this is a major turning point. Because as we're building up to the 12th, which will be literally at the beginning of next week on that Monday with the new moon in Libra, opposing Uranus, this is a big breakthrough, a big radical forward movement facing the electricity in our life of the new identity, the new self, the new direction, the new road, the new harmony, the new balance that we are finding in our life, the new chapter that's starting. But what gets me the most is in the nodes. In mean astrology, or mean node astrology, the nodes this weekend slip into Virgo Pisces. I am one that follows the mean node. You're going to see some astrologers that are true node. I also believe in the true node. I do both. But I believe that the spirit world and the ancients used the mean node. So I believe that the spirit mode or the spirit world has now moved the nodes. And it's moving it while we're having this amazing ballet that is overwhelming over the next, well, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, into Monday. It's like overwhelming. Change. Finding the new reality. Letting go of the past. This could be where you bring up a lot of past moments in your life and you're reminiscing over past things, and it's usually to help you move forward into the new. This is where the blast from the pasts come extremely. Old pictures, old things, old memories. It did in my life, and then it really was becoming to me when it was like, wow, we are shifting so intensely. This Mercury retrograde had us really look deeply at, the new life that we want to have. Because even though Libra is about relationships and balance and justice and finding, the righteous path, it also is about mirroring the right path, the right self. And there's a lot of, hidden aspects of ego and identity in Libra. And this has been about re-identifying your life. With a big Uranus opposition to this new moon that happens, this is about moving into this exciting new dynamic self. But you got to try things you never tried before. You're probably going to do things that you've never gone or been on before. And trying to do it the old way is going to be a massive failure. Massive failure. We all have to grow. We all have to ascend. We all have to take another step higher in our lives now. This is also Jupiter and Pluto trining. Explosive new doors opening, explosive new transitions and change. Mars as well is going to be joining Jupiter next week, as we're going to talk about that coming. We got Venus, which is flying in, going to square Saturn only for a little bit, but past that real soon. So this is about really the big choice in your life, the new turning point, and making some solid decisions, some solid new understanding, some things that you've been stewing on for 3 weeks now, ready to move forward, ready to engage, ready to take action. Mars in Virgo wants to do it, and I think the main lesson here is to not get overwhelmed, to not let it be too much, to not let you feel like it's just too much at you, because now we are stepping into an overload of energy, an overload of information. With a Mercury going stationary direct on the North Node, with all four, there's going to be literally the Moon, Mars, Venus, and Jupiter all in Virgo, and we are going to have the mean node come into Virgo now. That is an overwhelming, we have not seen in our lifetimes that much Virgo. No. Trust me, you have not seen it this much. So, it's an important moment to realize that we have to learn to ground in our spirituality, to learn to go with the flow still, to learn to, sometimes learn to chill out. And more importantly, listen to what the message is from Spirit. Listen to what God is saying. And this week is all about realizing that we have made it, that we are at it, especially by the 12th with that new moon. You are going to see this radical, ready to go, very powerful aspect of your life move forward. And you can cut the past. Don't be afraid of the past. Don't be afraid of the past haunting you anymore. It is not here to haunt you. It is here for you to expand, be wiser. And the only way to do that is you have to believe, you have to be optimistic, you have to be hopeful. You have to not get so nitpicky and not be so specific on how it's going to be, overwhelm yourself on, oh my gosh, this is the way that it's got to be. The universe is going to teach us that the way it's got to be is creative and beautiful, and that there are many hues and many colors and many shades that make up the universe, and it's not just one way. And that this new energy we move into is about moving into it without being so attached to exactly the way the outcome is going to be, by not being so overwhelmingly doubtful about your own abilities, your strengths, your ambitions, your ability to manifest and create, to not forget about the fantasy, but realize that this is a time where in order for fantasies to come true, you have to leave the fantasy and do the work and make it happen. And this is a time where we're all having to step up, we're all having to move forward. If you see Mars, how it's coming into all these new aspects, you're going to see the military on TV more than you ever have. You're going to see more war talk, but on a deep spiritual level, it's about you stepping up to the plate, a new identity, a new ego, a new self, a new will, a new courage, a new strength, a new direction in your life that comes. I will guarantee you it. So there it is. This is my last thing I need to say. It's more on a personal note about my business. One-on-one readings. On the 12th, I am changing my rates. I'm literally overly doubling them. I'm done with, doing readings. I will still do them, but it will be for the ones that really, 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 really want it. So if you do want to book a reading with me, this is the last weekend to just book the reading at the normal price, because the prices are literally doubling on the 12th, on the new moon. That's the new me. I'm going to be focusing more on some big projects, but I'm not going to tell everybody about the exciting new stuff until after the 12th. But if you want to get me on the app, every day I do a video where you get an understanding of what's going on, the planet energy meter, the sun sign horoscopes, it's all there. It's so awesome. You don't want to miss that. But we're here. Let me just make sure when I look at the chart I didn't miss anything. I did this all in my head. Nope. Don't be shocked about how overwhelmingly powerful this week will be. Be prepared for anything to happen. You are not going to be able to predict it. You will not be able to predict it, but it will be powerful, transformational, and you will be strong and move forward. For some people, this new Saturn and Sagittarius chapter will be very difficult. Those with Saturn and Sagittarius, those with not a lot of fire, those with not a lot of, ambition or hope, be very difficult. Those with a lot of fire, those with a lot of energy towards hope and optimism are going to thrive. I love you. I'm sending you a lot of good energy, a lot of light. I hope you enjoyed this Uncut. I also did another video where I go deeper into a lot of this stuff and do the chart. You can check it out. It's on my YouTube. I called it like Saturn and Sagittarius and Venus retrograde ending and so much and so forth. Thank you for all the support. I have to go. I got a lot going on, but this new moon is all about the radical new you, the forward movement, and the beginning of the new chapter of your life. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. And we are out of purgatory. I'll see you on the next Uncut.